butthole start off the show, right? Look at that thing. Look at that thing, right? Hot damn. Okay. What's happening? It's going. Here we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Houston with a Problem. I got the troop of Batman here. The monkey is on the floor chewing on a bone. It is day 3 of Shiny Shirt Week. I'm whipping out the old Guy Fieri collection for day 3 of Shiny Shirt Week, the longest week of the year. So I hope you've got your shiny shirts on at home. GameStop, she's a rippin'. Is that even going yet? That thing's giving me the cloudy face. I hope it's going. Wow. Well, we'll see. It says excellent connection, so. Yeah, we got GameStop is ripping. We closed just under 25 on Friday. We touched 28 today. I think the volatility is back, so I'm doing retirement options run 4.0. My goal, I started with $500. I've worked up to $1,200 so far. My goal is at least $3,000 by Friday when things close, hopefully at the current price or higher. We'll put 10 million or more shares in the money off the options chain, and then explosions. So then, that's when DFE needs to send out a YOLO update on Sunday. Stock price goes up like $15 overnight, and then Monday fireworks. Keep those fingers crossed. Don't need twiddle thumbs, don't need to stroke chins. Just keep those fingers crossed that we'll get that YOLO update, and that we will also get no dilution. So, what I need to click on one of these. This one, right? Bam. Why are you? Oh, okay. No longer blue. Sweet. Sorry, my replay on the other side was doing weird things, and now it's back to normal. Okay, we're good. All right. How's everyone doing? It's been just a weird week, hasn't it? Crypto has gone nuts, and that's largely because this is going to be seen as a very pro-crypto administration. They're going to be completely hands-off, and crypto's going bonkers right now. It probably means that any investigation into Tether that the DOJ has been working on, as we saw in the news last couple weeks, is going to get turned off. They're not going to investigate corruption. They're not going to investigate fraud. They're not going to investigate malfeasance or, any of that stuff. So we're going to be, and it's going to be crypto land, and it's going to be a giant bubble again, and then go. Because fraud is the underlying theme of most crypto. But if you're in it right now, if you got like Coney's probably going nuts right now, absolutely bonkers. Coney is that I guess it's sort of ETF of crypto in general, and it's doing all right. It went from 12 last week up to 20, so I mean it's doing well. And that Coney's had like crazy returns. Its dividend gives out about $1 to $2 a month, so it gets 100% returns over a year. And it's the Coin Option Income Strategy ETF. So it's going bonkers right now. So if you want something that's really high yield, that's going to yield more than what Bitcoin currently is, Coney's the way to go on that one. We talked about it here before. Come on, give me the stupid screen. There we go. This guy. So it finished in 1970. It's at $20 after hours. It's been as high as like 25, and almost as high as 30 earlier in the year, but and as low as 11. But again, it gives out like $1 or more a quarter. Its dividends are crazy. Coney dividends. Yeah, it does a monthly dividend. Dollar, $1.50, $1.60, $2.28, $2.79. So its returns are insane. 103% yearly returns at the moment. And since it started last year, every single solitary month has been over $1. So you're getting, at the current price, 5 to 10% returns per month, as long as crypto's flying. The minute crypto crashes, Coney's probably blinks out of existence. But you can have some fun with it right now. So it's the way it's going. Oh, crap. Weird fuzziness over my... Okay, turn it off, ding dong. Turn it off. I think I'd learn. I'll never learn. I will never learn. Okay. Any other things I want to point out market wise? The bubble is going to be gigantic. Just the bubble is going to just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I have no idea when it's going to pop. These banks are desperately trying to hide all of their unrealized losses. Commercial real estate is evaporated. Hotels are starting to go belly up because people aren't traveling. So like that big boom, that big push that came after COVID, everyone's like, I need to get out of the house. And they just traveled everywhere, and tourism was up and air travel was up. That seems to have evaporated. I'm seeing on 10X, which is that commercial real estate auction site, the number of hotels on there is nuts. And we're talking like big hotels. The Hyatt Regency in Atlanta, giant, 2,000 room hotel is like a ghost land right now. So something's gonna give. The exuberance in the market at the moment can only last so long before results have to be given. So I don't know where all the money's coming from to pump everything at the moment. Beats me. But David Wick, yeah, buddy. Marcella Giordano, second. You were. Mr. Marshmallow, Sonny Juarez. I can't read. Sonny Suarez. Loved how you fucked Nick up. Don't thank me. Think Sleepy Shark on Reddit, in our subreddit. He's the one who dug that up, and I just reposted it. And so there's a funny story about somebody who went to school with that Nazi Nick Fuentes. Talks about how when Nick ran the mile in gym class, he pooped his pants, and his mommy had to come and collect him from school. So I just reposted that, and it's like Twitter loves it. Michael Steegs, hey Houston, do you know more about the dividend for ICANN? Oh yeah, so IEP have their dividend again. They're down to 50 cents a quarter, which is still 20% returns on the year at current prices. But they were a year and a half ago. They were at $2 a quarter. So it's one of two things. They claim that they're trying to conserve cash so they can do some huge buying when the market goes donk, right? So the two things are Hindenburg with their hit piece on IEP and Carl Icahn in general were right in that they're scamming everyone, or two, they're setting some sort of bear trap. So it's one of those two things. Regardless, you're still getting a dividend every quarter. It's just going to be half of what it was before. So before, with the current stock price, you're getting about 40% returns with IEP, and now it's going to be about 20%, which is still, as a passive investment strategy, pretty darn good. Not as good as what Coin is doing at the moment, but, passive investment, 20% a year sitting on your butt. If you got a bunch of cash, totally cool. Dmitry Maximoff first. Oh, wait, no. Marcella, hey, Houston. Happy birthday. What do you think Trump will focus on day one of his second term? Also, any updates on BBBY? I honestly think Trump is going to do what they did with Project 2025, which they renamed Project 2025 America First, right? And the Trump people have all admitted that Trump lied and that he's going to incorporate Project 2025 into his presidency. Project 2025 is mostly based upon executive orders. Basically, using the fact that the Supreme Court has given the president immunity when it comes to official acts. As long as it's an official act, you can do whatever you want, right? And not face any legal repercussions for it. So Trump already has, in Project 25, you go to the website that has the 900 pages, they already have all the documents filled out and ready to go for them to just boom, sign, boom, sign, boom, sign. And so a whole bunch of decrees, essentially, will go throughout the land on day one. It will probably include stuff related to abortion, transportation, interstate transport of women. Like, if you need to show some sort of proof that you're still ovulating if you want to leave your state, things like that. Probably anti-immigration stuff, probably things to do with a fiat to declare no more birthright citizenship, which is against the Constitution, but they're going to try it anyway. I don't know if there's going to be a focus, as they're going to ram through as much as they possibly can those first few days and let everything just get tied up in courts. So it's just a giant mess, and everyone is basically, it's like Gish Gallop of the legal system. You push through 100 executive orders on that first day, and you've got 100 lawsuits, or maybe 1,000 lawsuits, all being filed across the country, and all of a sudden everyone has to spend so much time fighting these individual battles that they just ram more through. They're just going to overwhelm. I think that's what their focus is going to be, is to absolutely overwhelm there. Yeah. So any news on BBBY? Nothing. Not nothing, but Hunter, who's the lawyer for the estate, filed their amended complaint against Ryan Cohen, still seeking $47 million from a 16B violation, which the judge is going to ultimately throw it out because the previous claimants couldn't meet the standards for 16B violation. Therefore, the estate isn't going to be able to do it either. I honestly still don't know why it's still going. I don't know why. It's just a time suck, a giant time suck. So that's all the news that's happening on BBBY. We're still waiting for somebody to just emerge from this thing. And yeah. Scott Lumley super chats. Make sure you cover your butt in case Cohen decides to issue more shares. Yes. If he does so, it'll probably be on Friday before open. I'm hoping that they won't do it until next Friday if they do it, so that we can grow and then have crazy volatility Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then maybe we get to Thursday and I either do nothing at all or I split into puts and calls on Thursday right before close to see which way it goes. The implied volatility will be high enough that if he does issue a whole bunch of share dilution Friday before open, that I'll be able to get most of my money back on calls in the first 5 minutes of the market being open, and then the puts would pay off, and vice versa. So that might be how I play it if it is next Friday and not this Friday. Please don't do it this Friday. Let's get freaking gamma, dude. Right now we've got 10 million or so shares on the money for this Friday. GME options chain. There we go. Shboink. We got. Okay, so max pain was $20, $21. GME max pain. GME max pain. May have gone up a little bit. We're at $21. Okay, so max pain for this week is $21. We hit 28 today, and we're floating just 27 and change. So that means 21 boom. So there's open interest on this side, yeah. So 9, 11, 21, 22. That's almost 30, 43, 44, 45. Holy crap, 38,000 right there. So that is 8.3. 8.4, or 80.4, 84. That's 96, 7, 103. So we're at over 10 million shares in the money currently at this price. If we make it to 30, that puts another 25, 30, almost 30,000 shares in the money. We'll be at over 13 million shares in the money if we cross 30 and we stay there by close on Friday. That's big. I think the biggest we had so far when we had these volatilities in May and June, I think we put 8 million shares in the money on was it May 10th? I think we put 8 million shares in the money, and that caused the crazy volatility go into that May. So we put 13 million in. That'll be some big news. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. So should be fun as long as they don't dilute. It would suck if they did. Don't be a dilutey poopy. Okay, where was I? I did. Aaron Sounding, crypto moassing, Houston. Crypto is going nuts. Bitcoin's gone from below 70 to above 80 right now. It's at 83. BTC price may have gone even higher. 88. Holy shit. Yeah, crypto is definitely moassing. It's shooting for 100 for sure. My God. Just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. In the last 5 days. Gone from 75 to 88 in the last 5 days. In the last month, from 62 to 88. Where was this bottom? The last 6 months? 56 was... Oh, sorry. 53 was its bottom on September 7th. So we're up well over 50% just since September 7th. So in 2 months. That's bonkers. Bitcoin is going bonkers. Absolutely. Yeah. First day productions was 5th again. Colin, big day for GME. How are the options looking? Options looking all right. I reset. I am now sitting on a bunch of 30s for tomorrow. I don't need it. You know, if it goes up $1 or $2, that's enough for me to sell open and then reset later on. I just need a little bit. You know, I'm not going too hog wild because the volatility is not quite like this, like it will be next week if we close as high as we do. It's kind of subtle. It goes whoop and then kind of plateaus, and then has a little drop, and then goes up again, and then whoop right. You know, an hour and a half before close, we get that jump like we did today. That's kind of how it's working. Colin. Oh, sorry. Uncle Steve's first. Houston, any news on No Labs? It's taking forever. It is taking forever. No news. Nothing beyond what Ron talked about last month, which is their steering wheel thingy and no clue as to when they're going to file. We only have a little bit more of fall left. We got 5 weeks of fall left. So make that application, man. Javier Martinez, GME touching 28 and after hours again. 20. Oh, it's after hours. Yeah. Oh, it just hit 28. Okay, there we go. Nice. I'll be. I bought those 30s when it was like 27. I'll put up to about $1.30. It's up 30% returns. Not too shabby for a little growth. Let's see what it does. I think pre-market is going to be the big determining factor for price action. That's what happened last time around. Was we had crazy pre-markets the night before, or the morning before that Tuesday, where would go up like $20, and then the next day was when it hit 85 in pre-market before opening at like 64. So that's kind of all to expect for next week, but this week might be kind of like a little mini a mini mirror of that on a smaller scale. So close above 30 by Friday. That's what we need. If we don't have too crazy of volatility this week, it'll keep implied volatility on the options market pretty small, relatively small, which means, you can load up a lot of options that aren't too far out of the money on Friday, right before close. And you'll be able to get way more of them than you would if it were to be like rocketing all week long. Because you'll notice, like, when implied volatility goes up, an option that's near the money would be $5-6, right, per share. Whereas right now with implied volatility at the money is $1.73. So, you can load up on a whole bunch of them if this week kind of we goes up but not at super fast amounts, and so it keeps that implied volatility. Keep it below like 200, we'll probably be doing all right. Right now it's at 127 at the money. So yeah, just I kind of want maybe close 31 on Friday and don't jump too far away from that. Maybe some ups and downs before then, but not too big of wild swings. And that way, if I play my options right, I end up with about $3,000 by Friday. Cattail karaoke. And that gets me, 25, 30 options that I can have that are just out of the money for Monday. And then I think the explosion happens Sunday night into Monday. Stock price can go up $15 pre-market, and then the run is on. We're sprinting. Right now we're warming up, right? Right, little guy. Right, little perm machine. Okay. Whoa! Don't fall off my butt. What? Pick here. What you want? This is what you want. This is what you love. You love sitting and doing the show like this, don't you? Yeah. Okay. Hello, you little buddy. Yes. Where was I? Getting distracted by cats. Always. So Colin says, sold a 22 today and still have one. Might rebuy it if it dips though. I mean, the safe way to play it is to play in the monies. Houston's retirement options run can't afford in the monies. Like, I need as many shares as possible while volatility is going on, so I maximize the multiplicative effect of each one of those options. So the goal is, started with 5 options this morning. I'm up to 12 right now. The goal is, maybe 25 by the end of the week, if I'm happy, if I can. But you want to keep multiplying the number of options you have with each trade. And the trades, you have to play the up and the down. So this morning, I sold I think I had 26 fives. I sold those for a little over $2 this morning. Bought some puts, rode those down to about a 50% gain, and then bought my 30s. And each time you just get a little more, because it's gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down. And you may guess wrong. You may be like, okay, I think some buy pressure will let up and some shorts will take over, and the price might go down a few bucks. And then you buy it, and then all of a sudden you're wrong. You go, crap. So you just set yourself back a day. But it happens, right? It happens. But the goal is you just keep maximizing, and we get the crazy volatility. So let's say I get 30 options on Friday that are a few dollars out of the money, right? So let's say the price closes at 31, I get 25, 30 of them at like $33, $34. And then DFV does a tweet Sunday night, or YOLO on Reddit, and the price jumps $15. All right, I just made $1,100 to $1,500 on every single one of those, right? So I'm sitting at 45, 50K Monday morning at open. Done. Because if you get that crazy rise in the pre-market, what's happened in the last 2 cycles is you get that crazy opening, the implied volatility is insane. So the premiums on those options are absolutely bonkers. I'm selling. I'm selling every single one of those things and buying at the money puts. So if it opens at $45, say Monday morning, I don't know what it'll be open at. We're just pretending. All right, so it opens at $45 Monday morning. I sell all those options, get 50K out of them, probably can buy 200 puts or so, 250 puts at the money, because they'll probably be about $2. Maybe you go like $1 below, somewhere around there, and the price will drop $5-7, and probably before, probably within 90 minutes of the market being open. So, you make a profit of $500 in every single one of those things, and now you're sitting at close to $100,000 in 90 minutes of work. Then you go back and you buy a whole bunch of near the money calls, because with the volatility, it's going to rise. It's going to rise. It's going to rise. Throughout the day, it might go back up another $5, $7, get back to where it was at open. And then you can reset again right before close. You can sell all those suckers at, 3:30 in the afternoon before the markets close. Reset a few dollars above where you think it's going to, the price where it's going to close at, and get that sucker ready for the Tuesday morning pre-market, which is, when we saw it go to like $85 pre-market. So, then you can open and you can be up like $2-3 grand on every single one of those call options. And if you're at $100,000, calls are probably $500 at the money, so you get a couple dollars out of the money for $200-300. You might be at 700 calls by Tuesday morning, just on that action alone. So you've gone from 25 to 30 calls that Friday. You're now sitting at 500 to 700 going into the Monday. If you time it right, and that's enough, you're at 700 calls. The price goes up, and each one of those calls is making you $3,000 or something. You made $2.1 million. That's retirement numbers in 2 days of trading, from 30 calls on a Friday to that Tuesday morning, and you can do it all over again, because just like the last round, the price plummets after open. It goes from $65 down to like $35. So you can buy as many puts as you can afford with that, 20,000 of them, right? With that much money. And then each one of those you gain, $1,000-2,000. Now you're worth $20+ million in 4 trades. So that's the options run goal. That's like ideal land. You hit everything at the highs and lows and etc. But don't be discouraged if you make $10,000 here, you make a guess, it goes down to 5. You go, oh shit, well, you still got $5,000. It still gets you 10-20 calls to do it all over again. So I've done 3 main options runs like this. Started with a few $100, ended with 109,000, 60,000, and 130,000 before I got vaporized by Ryan Cohen in all 3 of those. So Ryan Cohen's the one that's destroyed my retirement on these option runs so far. You're just a little goofball. Yes, you are. Man, my arm's getting tired. How do people hold babies all day long? I do not have the muscles for holding a child, and this thing's a fraction of the weight of a child. Stephanie L., OMEX earnings tomorrow. I think there's enough time for the Senate to rush some federal judges through. Those 2 separate things. Yes, OMEX, if you guys remember, Occidental Marine Exploration, whatever they're called. They were a $5 stock back in the summertime, and then they had some sort of NAFTA complaint in the courts where they won. And so they released a press release talking about how under Chapter 11 of the NAFTA agreement, blah, 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 blah. But the info scrapers in the algorithms for all of the trading companies, all they saw was Chapter 11. So they treated the stock as if it was Chapter 11, and they just dropped it. It's like 44 cents right now. And it should be a $5 stock. They won $35 million in this NAFTA complaint, in this Chapter 11 NAFTA complaint. But the algo is still thinking like, oh, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So I'm wondering if in their earnings, if it will include the $35 million windfall and make their earnings look like it's gone up a cajillion percent. So maybe, play some options, and maybe I buy a whole bunch of those Omex calls, see what happens. I don't think it's going to drop it any. 44 cents is pretty basement where it is. You can get the 50-cent options for like 5 cents each. Right? The price has to go 51 cents and you break even on that sucker. So maybe, oh, you were asleep. Maybe I play a little bit of that Tuesday into Wednesday. Probably be a audible right before close as to what I'm going to do on that. Oh, you little booger. This cat is out like a light. Okay. Where am I? Justin Stewart says, man, crypto's going wild. Crypto stocks too. Mm-hmm. I know you're not a fan, but my fingers are crossed. Stocks are more manipulated than crypto at this point. Stupid regulators. I think it's all manipulated at this point. Remember, 97% of Bitcoin are owned by 1% of wallets. It's a higher concentration than even the stock market, cash, property, etc. Going from Justin Stewart to Andrew Stewart. Houston, what's your take on all the 2024 with stolen conspiracy theories? Seems a bit far-fetched, but I do have a lot of questions. The numbers do seem weird. They do. You got states like Arizona where Kerry Lake lost with like 100,000 more votes than Kamala Harris. That's a huge discrepancy to have Senate candidates getting that many more votes than the presidential candidate. Those numbers do feel weird. It doesn't sit well with me, honestly, that somehow 10 million plus people just didn't show up this year to vote. Feels weird. So people will have conspiracies all day long. I think the important thing to do for the Biden administration these last couple of months is to shore up as much as they can to keep Trump from making as much damage as he possibly could. Trump is a highly incompetent know-nothing, and he'll fuck things up along the way. But there's got to be some sort of level of let the man fuck up so people can learn their lesson here, I guess. Because that's what a lot of people are like, you know what? You made this bed, you lie in it, and I'm just hoping for retirement options run, so if need be, I can be on a plane to somewhere else and take as many of my friends and family with me as I can. So I think if Trump gets his way and he rams through things the way he wants, it's going to get really bad. And I don't want to live through that. I don't want people I know to live through that. So, if I've got some privilege to just GTFO, I will. I have no problem doing that. Alex Bishop, why is Bitcoin booming? Again, the administration is seen as very pro-crypto. So the crypto bros won. Something like half of all the donations Trump received were in the form of crypto for his campaign. The crypto bros. That's who you voted for, was a bunch of crypto bros. Now imagine your average crypto bro running things. Ugh. It's a lot of silk shirts, man. Those dudes used to frequent this bar called the Matador in Seattle, and my friend was a waitress there, and she referred to them as silky boners. When she see them, she'd be like, God, just a bunch of silky boners. Because they always had like silk slacks or silk trousers, and they're always just like trying to have sex with all the waitresses with huge tips. Like, if I tip this girl $100 on this drink, she's gonna have sex with me. And they tip the girl $100, she'd be like, thanks, ew, and then walk away. The silky boners, right? Oh, you're just so asleep. You don't even know what silky boners are. Zappy, shout out to Monkey Butt, Fat Cat, and Murder Kitten. Well, Murder Kitten is sound asleep. She is asleep as you can be. Fat Cat's sound asleep. And the Monkey Butt, monkey's on the other side of the ottoman there. She's asleep. They're all asleep. I put them all to sleep here. Snur alert. Oh, Houston, we talked a little bit about BTC already, but what the fuck? BTC, how isn't everybody from Tether already in jail? Fucking how? If I were Trump, or sorry, if I were Biden, and I wanted to limit the power of Trump to like destroy things, I would probably destroy crypto. Absolutely just annihilate it. I would take the 200,000 plus coins, like 215,000 coins that the U.S. government has taken in criminal investigations and stuff over the years, dump them on the market. Just dump them. And then make Tether coins illegal. Consider it counterfeiting of U.S. dollars. Make it illegal. Done. Put crypto in as a security. And you would vaporize crypto so quickly. That price $88,000, everyone's getting in, running high. That thing would drop to 12 in a matter of weeks. And everyone would be super pissed. And then, you know, if you were on the crypto bro side, you get your cash, you buy it all up at 12, and then Trump comes in and does the deregulation of everything. The price probably goes right back up again. But in the meantime, you would obliterate Peter Thiel's money. You'd obliterate J.D. Vance's money. You'd obliterate, you know, a huge number of people that donated the Trump campaign. Trump would does stuff like this to get vengeance. I think Democrats need to learn not to be so high and mighty, not to seek revenge. that if they just showed some stones every once in a while, people would be like, all right, I respect you. You know, it's that whole, go to prison, you gotta kick the ass of the first big person you see, and then everyone's like, all right. But I don't think anyone I don't think there's anyone Democrats to have the balls to do something like that. That's the Dems' biggest problem, is that they're just, in the end, they're just giant pussies. And people don't respect that. They're like, yes, those ideas would improve my life, but you're just such a pussy. And I think that they vote accordingly. Right? Yep. N9, Houston. I'm convinced the subreddit doesn't even know about this show existing. Anything even talking about this show gets downvoted in oblivion. Like, are they all bots? There's so many bots. I guess if I had some sort of like ability and time, and I would have clips and I'd post clips to subreddit, but like the minute I get done with the show, I gotta bail, and then I get home and I have 500 messages I gotta answer from all you folks, and I don't have time to go watch my hour, 2-hour video again and pull out chunks, make them into little minis and throw them up there. So yeah, the subreddit is going nuts. We've gained 3,000, 4,000 subscribers since yesterday morning. It's nuts. I haven't had a chance to go through and do my moderation for the day yet. I spent all day staring at graph going up and down. I will probably have to bring in some mods. I probably should. So, if you are a longtime viewer and you've been a moderator in here, or we've had lots of rapport, send me a note, and I'll think about bringing you in as a mod on the subreddit. With the subreddit, I'm very I don't put people in jail. If the account feels off to me, I just nuke it. And 999 times out of 1,000, I did the right thing. In that 1,000th time, I just misunderstood somebody's like being sarcastic, and I go, "Oh, sorry," and then I let them back in. But for the most part, like I nuke an account, and if I don't, I may never hear from them because they're a bot or they're a Russian troll, right? And if I do hear from them, it's them calling me a slur. So I'm like, well, I feel pretty vindicated in nuking your account because you just called me F word, N word, K word, yeah. So why'd you ban me, you F word? I'm like, that's why I banned you, because I don't want you around. So if you are willing to take upon yourself the ability, if you just nuke 50 of those assholes a day, then it saves me from having to do, say, 1,000 a day if we split the deal. So it's so like these posts are getting 45,000 upvotes and 6,000 comments, and there's not enough humans in me to be able to do that and read enough news to be able to do a show and do all those things. So yes, I will be taking on the applicants if you'd like to help mod the subreddit. and you have to have a heart of stone. You look at a comment and you go, that one seems off. Look at their karma, you're like, that seems like a Russian bot. Just send them out. That's all you have to do. It's pretty easy. Rose Moon wants some? All right. All right. I'm a friend. Aloha from Wahoo. So Trump equals deregulation equals stocks, crypto going bonkers. Yep. And the history is you deregulate the markets, they go nuts into a new bubble. Absolutely crazy. And then because you don't have any regulation or enforcement, the whole thing collapses in on itself and then crashes bigger than you could ever imagine. That's what creating bubbles does. And, maybe it was smart of the Biden administration to step this one out. And we'll keep the recessions during Republican streak alive. There's not been a recession while Democrats been in the White House in 50 years. No, 48 years. So, every single recession in my lifetime has been under a Republican. And looks like we will definitely get one on the Trump administration because they have no idea what they're doing. They rode the coattails of the Obama administration last time around and then mishandled the pandemic and gave us the largest economic crash since the Great Depression. So, granted, they pumped so much money in the economy that it bounced right back again, but that caused the inflation that hit everybody that everyone wants to blame Biden for. So, it's, so Biden Kamala will step out and watch this whole house of cards come down, and that'll be that. And everyone will be so glad to get rid of him. It'll be like, Hoover winning in 28 and then getting demolished in 32. Right, monkey? Yeah. Honest friend, we like stocks going bonkers. Does that mean we like Trump? No. Chris Graves, Houston. What are your thoughts on how we can direct our energies for the next election? I'm registered nonpartisan, Austin, Texas. I vote in Republican primaries for the least viable candidate. Well, I mean, that's one way of doing it. I think people on the left are at a giant disadvantage because you've got Russians funding the voices on the right. You've got China funding the voices on the right. I just read this thing about the Chinese just gave Epoch Times like $67 million to spout their nonsense. That's the Falun Gong cult. They're weird. You got, the busts of Russian government giving, Tenet Media $10 million to fund, propaganda. There's no one out there, as much as people will talk about like George Soros and crap, George Soros is not paying people to do shows like this or like Ben Shapiro or whatever. It's not happening. Like the amount of views that Tim Pool got on Tenet Media is the same as this show. There's 375 of you in here right now. By the time the show is done and that by tomorrow, maybe 4,000 to 7,000 views will have been on this show. That's as many views as they got per video on Tenet Media. But the Russians were paying Tim Pool $100,000 a show to do this. And I might get, if I'm lucky, $90 in AdSense money to do this show. So, like the benefactor, there's no benefactor there. No, what's it called, monkey? When you get sponsored, benefactor, like what Engel was to Karl Marx, right? Like there's no one like that for the left side of the issue. So you don't get the advertising dollars. You don't have the stuff getting pumped out there. You don't have the nice fancy studios. It's just the viewership may be there if you can figure out how to break the algorithm, but it's just not going to be as smoothly operated as what the right wing machine has. Low B super chats. I got a twitchy trigger finger. Sign me up for some modding. We could do that. We can do that. Right, kitty? Yeah. Mentor. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, monkey. Yeah, thank you, monkey. You're so smart. You know so much. Okay. Okay, Design Friend, Chris Graves did that one. PT 0U4077 pumping crypto to distract for GME. It only lasts for so long because they have so much money in that crypto they can't use as collateral that if GME does fly, maybe we see that Sunday night canary in a coal mine again and it goes, we're off the cliff. Right, monkey? Yeah, you want to say hi to your buddy? Is that what you're trying to hear? Or are you trying to get some snacks out of me? I don't have enough hands to hold a kitten and get you snacks. I'm sorry, I apologize. I can pat your head though. I can do that. There we go. Okay. Oh god, kitty, my arm is so tired. Can you sit right here? Can you go right there? My arm's like cramping up from kitty naps. Oh my gosh. Okay, you can stand. You can stand there. Different line. Houston thinking of picking up 5 GME 2750 calls at open. Why versus why not? I think it's going to be above 2750 at open personally. I wouldn't doubt if we're at 2850, 2930, somewhere around there open. So if you want to spend a lot of money, you can get the 2750s. That's up to you. It's always a safer call to preserve more of your worth when you buy in the money and longer term out. But the ye old options run, retirement options run requires weeklies, degenerate gambling. That's the goal. You got to just be like all in, because that's the only way during one of these volatility cycles. You got maybe 9 trading days to do as much damage as you possibly can, and then it's over. So in those 9 trading days, I gotta go all in. Yeah, just like that movie Let It Ride. I think it's called Let It Ride, with Richard Dreyfuss, where he plays that taxi cab driver who like wins. He like wins his first race the day at the horse track, and then bets it all in the second race and wins again. He does 8 races that way and just walks with like $1 kajillion. It's kind of that style. Yeah, I will probably this time around, when I get one of the big wins, take out 5-10% of it, set it to the side, just so I can have a vacation somewhere, guaranteed. But for the most part, it's gonna be Let It Ride style. You stop trying to step on the keyboard. Show your butthole. There you go. Jay Geyser, if GME dilutes again, is it worth backing off of Adam Aaron? Because it would be pretty much mean plunge protection team is driving at both companies. Did you take off the magnet? Monster. What'd you do with the magnet? Dadgummit, I hope you didn't eat it. You have a giant, huge, you didn't even magnet going through your... Don't. Go over there. Leave my water alone. Some bitch. Well, don't step on the keyboard. This is why I have to keep you in kitty jail. She has me trained. She's like, yes, if I bother him, then he'll hold me like a little baby. And his arm will get so tired. But okay, sorry. Jimmy Deluskin, is it worth backing off of Adam Aaron? Well, Adam Aaron dilutes when the stock price is garbage to pay off this much debt. Ryan Cohen dilutes when the stock price is flying to have huge stacks of cash in the waiting for merger acquisition. They are in 2 entirely different positions here. One company's profitable and viable, and the other one not so much. They had pretty decent earnings so far. They only lost $20 million last quarter. But again, that's summer numbers. That's when they're supposed to make most of their money. So, yeah, a little thumb biter. Although it will piss me off if he just goes out and destroys another options run on me. Like, do you know how many shares of GameStop I could have owned by now if he didn't destroy my options run? We're talking like millions of shares. And each time I get to the point where I'm like, sweet, I can exercise all these on Friday and I'll have X number of million shares. Boom, vaporizes it. Fuck. Like, oh, Ryan, stop. Just let's have the 2021 volatility back again. I wasn't on my options game in 2021. I should have done options runs then. Elastic Hedgehog do a dab. One of those things. Turkish, where's the money, Wadowski, in the markets? Brandon Wells, sup? BBBY No Labs. Meh. Just Stewart. Hey, I live north of Atlanta. It's a shithole no one outside 285 wants to go into. It's almost like an island that everyone on stays on and everyone outside tries to stay out of. Okay. Okay. All right. Noted. I've not been to Atlanta in a very, very, very long time. I was invited to that Pulte thing in Atlanta, and I'm not going to go to a Pulte event ever again. So I did not go to that. But I find funny. So there's lots of TV shows and movies and stuff filmed in Atlanta, and usually they're playing us somewhere else. Like you watch Brockmire, which is a hilarious show. It's supposed to take place in Pennsylvania, and it's actually in the Atlanta area. And then you watch a movie like or TV shows like Bosch or The Rookie or whatever, like or Nash Bridges or Law and Order, right? The way they highlight the cities they're in are pretty amazing. So when you like go to Los Angeles, you go to a place like, oh, I saw this in that TV show. So this was where that was. Oh, that was where that was filmed. But then the shows that are based in Atlanta don't really show you Atlanta. Know what I mean? There's what's that detective show that's on now, Monkey, with the guy who was the orphan, who Tennant? No. Talbot? No. Crap. It takes place in Atlanta. It's like 2 years old. And they film it all over Atlanta, but there's like never seen like, oh, that's a cool building. Oh, that's an interesting spot. It all just could be filmed anywhere. They just say that they're Atlanta. And it doesn't make you feel like, oh, if I go to Atlanta, I'm going to visit all these filming locations and see cool stuff. You're just not going to see anything, right, Kitty? Not that you care. Not that you care. This cat's an easy audience. You just need a really, really, really strong plyometrics. Chris Graves, Houston. What calls are you playing this week? I'm an XXX holder. One XXX computer share. Cash secured calls. What date? Everything I'm playing is weeklies. I play weeklies. I get just out of the money or at the money. When it rides up and I feel like that it's about done what it can do that day, I sell and I buy puts at the money. And I ride that back down, and then I buy calls. And I ride that back up, and then I buy puts. And I ride that back down. I just do that up and down all week during the volatility stuff. Because the price is going to change $5, $10, $15 in a single trading day when the volatility hits. So I'm going to use that to my advantage, and that's all I'm doing. Rupert Trooper, how are you currently playing, GME? Are you doing the buy puts early in the morning and then selling? Buying calls and selling those in the morning? Are you trying to puke on me? Are you just making a jerk sound? It depends on the rate of volatility. Like right now, it's subtle. So, we opened at 25 and change, which is not too far above where we were on Friday. And then, what was it? It's about an hour into the market? No, it wasn't that far into the market. It was about 10 minutes into the market is when we saw the first rise of the day. And it rose, and by about 11 a.m. Eastern is when it did its first peak, and I'd sold just before that. So my calls, I bought at $1, sold them at $2. I think they peaked at like $2.22, and I bought my puts, and I rode that back down. It dropped about $1 again, and then I bought my 30s and kind of sat on those all day. The 30s, they peaked at like $1.40, and I think they finished the day at like $1.30. So I was up 20-30% at the time. I might be up another 20-30% with it after hours being at $28. So, I think the pre-market is going to be the signal as to what happens. If we're up, if pre-market we go up $2, $3, $4, then implied volatility will be really high. I'll probably sell because just on IV crush alone, I will lose value on those calls. So I might just sell them. It might not even go down that much, but I'll just wait 10-20 minutes for the IV to drop and then get back in. So Joe's Miami says, just now GOP hit 218 for House control, no guardrails. Oh, shit. We're screwed, kitty. There's going to be no checks and balances. Oh, goodness. Well, kitty cat, at least you're dumb and ignorant and you have no idea what's going on except a little nap time. Well, nice knowing all of you. Citizen 54, Houston, any validity to these election fraud hacks? Seems like everyone is hesitant to call it out, or is the proof so flimsy it's not worth the look? Who can you contact if you suspect an issue? I mean, you can probably contact whoever you want, but I don't know if anything will be done about it. The only little hopium I have is that Trump is a convicted felon. Therefore, you don't really need a warrant to monitor him. You can just set up wiretaps, whatever. And that perhaps, someone in the government was actually looking at him and recording his conversations and his calls with Putin, etc. And if something was fishy, they got it on tape. Or they've got an electronic copy of it or something. That's all I'm hoping for. And but again, Dems don't have balls. So you can't expect them to actually play that kind of ball game. And I'm off. Will Elon ever go broke? Hate seeing him win again. Ugh. It sucks. He's like spent all his time at Mar-a-Lago. He's basically going to be the president without being the president. So he sounds like he's doing as much as he can to run this entire administration. So watch him cut $2 trillion out of the budget, shrink the economy by 25%. They deport 22 million immigrants, shrink the economy at another 15%. And then we're in Great Depression land. But these guys are accelerationists. It's what they do. They want to destroy everything and rebuild new, and that doesn't work. It's not like a derelict building and you're building a new skyscraper where it was. It is society, and when society fails significantly, people die. And when people die, shit gets desperate. Shit gets desperate. Assassinations, bombings, protests, insurrections, revolutions, etc. So, what Javier Milei is doing in Argentina. He's like, we're gonna cut everything, destroy the government, get rid of the central bank, blah blah blah, and he's like, see, we cut inflation. Except inflation didn't actually cut; it's right back to where it was last year before the election. The difference is that you have the highest rates of starvation and the most poverty in your country's history. Okay, how have you improved society? How is society going to bounce back from that? Can you imagine if, we plunged 100 million Americans into poverty and an equal number of them didn't know where the next meal was going to come from? You've immediately destroyed the greatest nation on earth. Instantaneously. How are you going to build back from that? I don't know. Beats me, man. Beats me. Turkish. Hey, Houston. What do you think about all them celebs saying we gonna leave USA if Trump comes back in the White House, but still enjoying champagnes in their overpaid homes? They've got money, and they've got the privilege to go wherever they want. And most of their movies are being filmed outside the USA anyway, because we destroyed our entire movie industry. So they're filming stuff in Canada and in Hungary and Bulgaria and France, and not as much in the US anymore. So, they can afford to do it. Good for them. Right? If I could afford to do it, I'd probably get the fuck out of here right now. Kevin, Zeldin for EPA. Trump assembling the worst people. Oh, Lee Zeldin is a moron. And what they're doing is they're taking people who hate a government program with a fire passion, and they're putting them in charge of that government program. And all you can do is expect that it's not going to work. That they're there to destroy that program and to obfuscate as much as they can from the functions of that program. So you take somebody who thinks pollution is awesome and who cares about regulations. Let's poison the air and the water because I'll get a bunch of money and I can afford to go live in my compound somewhere, so fuck you. And you put them in charge. You take somebody like RFK Jr., who's an absolute wackadoodle and gets people killed with his ideas, and you put him in charge of health. Right? You take somebody who doesn't believe in stock market regulation and thinks that short hedge funds and private equity can do whatever they want, and you put them in charge of the SEC. That's the MO of an administration like this, is that they tell you how bad government is, and then they prove themselves right by being incompetent at government. So, yeah, the cat's totally asleep again. Oh, I got to get going. This is just a short show today. I'll probably do a show tomorrow, simply because we're in volatility weeks, and why not? So I'll do a show tomorrow afternoon. Kitty cat, puppy dogs, anything to add? No? Sorry for the short show. The computer had to reboot again. I was hoping to start half an hour earlier, and then I had to wait for everything to boot up because such is life. Anywho, sorry about the short show. We'll get you tomorrow. I'll try to do a longer one tomorrow because the computer did reboot today. So hopefully that's that. Okay, everybody, have a great night. I will see you later, and rock and roll. Okay, got to click on. It's not quite dark outside yet, so we'll just go back to the old classic one more time. Boom. You're a sleepy cat. You're a sleepy little cat right there. Oh, such a little sleepy.